And joining us once again here this week on Market Talk, pleased to have with us John Long, retail product agronomist with Brevant Seeds. And we're looking at some of the things we've learned here throughout the 2023 growing season. And John, first off, thanks for joining us once again this week here on Market Talk. I hope you're doing well.
I am, and it's great to be with you.
Well, let's dive in and let's think about what we saw here or what we have seen so far throughout this 2023 growing season. And as we start to wind things down, what are some of the key takeaways you have from this season so far, John?
So some of the things I'd look at is we started planning at a very early time frame this year. Of course, we had fairly dry conditions, which encouraged farmers to get out there early and do things. So important to have hybrids and soybean varieties that have good stress emergence to get through some of those early challenging conditions. And Brevant has several things that we've looked at through our PST program to give you that emergence and early vigor to help you establish a stand. Beyond that, we went through some dry periods through June and in some areas even July. So we're learning more about the drought tolerance of several of the hybrids that we have out here today, and really focusing on some of those Brevant hybrids with the Aquamax trait. They're looking stellar in these conditions. The other thing that I would say was a key takeaway is we're seeing a fair amount of late season soybean disease like sudden death syndrome. Again, I've been telling growers that as we plant earlier every year, especially soybeans, sudden death is normally encouraged by early planting into cooler and wetter soils. So probably a great idea to look at your soybean lineup for next year and pick out those varieties from Brevant that have the best tolerance to sudden death syndrome, and even also add a soybean seed treatment that takes care of sudden death would be a great thing to look at for next year.
John, what are some things that are top of mind for you as well as we approach harvest time?
I would tell growers, I guess, first and foremost, being out in plots every day, start preparing for harvest right now with some of this heat that we've had late, in addition to the early planting that we had. The corn is probably progressing more quickly than you think. I know I've talked with some growers that cut silage, and kind of encouraging them right now to make sure we're on top of that because things are moving so rapidly. But even beyond that, as we look at grain corn, I think growers are going to be surprised just how quickly this crop comes on in September. So good time to go out and evaluate fields, look at what the maturity ranges are right now, and probably a good time to get the combine out and start doing whatever you need to get that ready, because I think harvest is going to come upon us a little more quickly than we're used to.
Well, and you mentioned a little bit about this as well. What should farmers keep in mind as they start thinking about next year's seed as well, John?
Well, I think as growers look at next year, always looking for the next thing that can help improve their overall operation, their yields. And as we talk about from the Brevant perspective, we're introducing the Vorseed trait, which is our chrome molecular stack rootworm trait, along with RNAi to improve the overall effectiveness of corn rootworm products on that continuous corn acre. We're also bringing to the market PowerCore Enlist. So between both the Vorseed and PowerCore Enlist trait, we're going to give growers another tool in their toolbox within Brevant to build a spray Enlist over the top of corn to help improve weed control along with insect protection.
Well, John, I'm sure if growers have questions, they could contact their local Brevant retailer or go online, Brevant.com. I'm sure either way would be a great way to get started, wouldn't it?
Oh, those are both great ways. And I know working with retail, they're already talking with growers about their anhydrous applications this fall and their dry fertilizer, their programs. So those retailers have a very good finger on the pulse of what's going on in your acres. So considering seed purchases from them, they're already experts about your acres, and they're going to match up the right Brevant hybrid on the right acre.
Well, and if you don't know your local retailer, you could find it as well online, Brevant.com. With that, retail product agronomist with Brevant Seeds, John Long, thanks for joining us again this week. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.
Hey, thank you.